I'm not sure what to call that dog show that we just witnessed. A little bit of up, a lot of down. We're going straight back up again. This market is insane. We've had 2 underwear changes in the last 3 hours. It's been an incredibly stressful day. If you've just woken up in the States, well, you've missed all the drama. You might be in time for some new entries. I've also got a 400% trade for you. That could be playing out in the next couple of weeks. We got tons to talk about here, guys. Let's get right into this. And remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, even if you love the chop. And AI Ray's back. Rainbow Ray is gone. I don't know, bro. We need the rainbow, man. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling super stressed out here at the moment. So let's just deal with a couple of things here quickly. Very stressful day. If you were in front of the computer, if you were trading today, you were getting chopped up, you were getting smashed. Come on. Hello.
You are not buying this dip. If this is not the dip that you're buying, then I don't know what to tell you guys. This is a dip you have to be buying. Wait, show me the chart.
Hold on. Are we still listening to this guy?
Just relax, bro. Just relax, bro. Calm down. BTC.
Am I smoking
bro,
today,
if you're
guys?
not buying this dip, I have to go buy position in the Bible trading competition.
Dude, I caught the absolute bottom of PopCat. I'm coming 13th.
I have to quickly go and make it.
Run is off. Okay, guys. So if you've had a busy day, okay, you've had a hard day, I can tell you what, I've been sitting in front of the PC today, in front of the Mac, sweating bullets. It's been a hell of a day. We've had pumps, we've had dumps. I was saying in Sniper Club earlier today, it feels like we were chasing today. Something just wasn't feeling right about the market, and they have come for us both sides. Now, remember, bigger picture, everything is okay. Everything is going to play out according to plan. Well, at least it should be, as long as we're holding certain levels. If you've been chopped up today, remember, shake it off. Tomorrow's a new day. Today's a new day. If you've just woken up, we're going to look at entries. We get back into this stuff and we keep cracking on. So hard day for everybody. We all took a lot of strain out there, and it wasn't a typical relaxing afternoon, put it that way for me. Okay. So let's deal with this. Here's BTC on the 4 hour, okay? A hell of a mess, as you can see by this candle. This is the 4 hour Bybit chart that I've been using here. And you can see they sent this candle up today to 67,979. I mean, absolute pumpage. And then what did they do? They reversed it on everybody and smashed you, whether you were long or short. Okay, so what do we do now? What can we deal with now on BTC? So firstly, we've got to let this chop settle. Okay, we don't know what is going to happen next now on BTC with the size of that candle, but what we do know, what we have confirmed here is some support, 64,500. That's our horizontal in play. This is the 382 in play as well, and that now is confirmed support. So a strong little bounce off that region. You can see we've got a great reaction here so far. So to the downside, BTC, that's okay. That's 64.5. A little bit lower, we got 63,450. That's another big reaction zone. So that is where I'm expecting a little more of a reaction if they do want to dump us lower. Now, typically in these types of situations with these types of candles, I want to zoom in to the 1 hour. Let's actually look at the 15 minutes here. And you can see the size of this chop here at the moment. So let's let things play out a little bit here on BTC. We don't have great direction at the moment with how things are going to play out. So we're going to just keep watching it now on the 4 hour time frame. But what we do have is dominance. Looks like it's going to reject. We might get some kind of action on some of these altcoins. So we're going to start digging into some altcoins very quickly and just see what we can make of this current situation. So firstly, for those, I mean, this is for the spot holders, and I was just loving this today as well. And I mean, CZ, if you can't hold, you're a bitch. Now, that's just for the spot traders. Now, the leverage traders, you guys got to know when to exit. You got to know when to cut your positions and those types of things. And we experienced a lot of that today. And just talking about October, in spite of what's just happened, and we've seen October, we're now 3% up. Okay, so all around, things are actually relatively good. If you were sleeping in spot positions or margin positions, nothing has really changed for you in the current situation. If you were trading 20x leverage like some of us, well, you had the most wild day in history. And I don't blame you for feeling a little bit stressed out here at the moment. So now let's just take a look at some of these top performing assets here. I saw this nice tweet from Altcoin Daily. I mean, obviously they're pumping Sui. I mean, they could have put any other shitcoin at the top there, but just interesting. BTC 57%, Sol 50%, gold's done 28%. I mean, that's relatively impressive considering that it's such a boring shitcoin at the moment. And oil, you can see at the bottom there, is absolutely flat. So we can see crypto, yes, outperforming, but remember, crypto outperforms to the downside as well. And that is why we can sometimes feel extreme pain. So, you know, it's a bit of a skewed chart here. I think this crypto market can be absolutely wild. Now, there was a sign in the market earlier today. There were a couple of signs here that things could be turning over. And one of them was this tweet, a very interesting tweet from Crypto Condom. I don't know why he calls himself this, but he says today's BTC ETF inflow was $559 million. Historically, high inflow above $500 million tends to occur around market supply zones and mark local tops before profit taking. Okay, this is amazing what this guy's just done here today. Conversely, high outflow acts as a bottom signal. So the last 3 times we had more than 500 million, September 27th, we know we started dumping then, July 22nd, June 4th. Okay, this guy basically called the top today, or at least that massive reversal there that was going on. So very big shout out to this guy. And we got to see if things are now going to hold on BTC's front. We're going to have to let things play out a little bit more. But I saw today the S&P, a little bit of heat coming off the S&P at the moment. So a little bit of a red day on the S&P, and that's that's tying into crypto at the moment. And I'm still running that S&P long on Prime XBT. So no reason to exit this situation just yet. We're just going to let that one carry on grinding higher. And then as far as my higher conviction plays that I got going on, I've got my BTC trade. I closed my ETH position when we hit that trend. I'm going to take you through ETH as well, but BTC, we're just leaving that one at the moment. No real changes on that current situation for BTC. So that one is now ticking over. That average entry is 62K and expecting that to hold. So even deeper pullbacks here, I'd like to see that hold for me on BTC. So BTC on the daily, very interesting. We've got our rejection at trend. This was a region we highlighted yesterday. So trend region coming into play, rejection zone. Okay, typical rejection zone. You're watching the charts, you're zooming out, you're looking at your big zones. When you get a massive pump like that, that is where you're looking for shorts. When you're getting the massive dumps, that is where you are looking for your long. So typical rejection zone on the daily there, BTC. No real surprises, but this liquidation heat map, Ray, look at this thing, bro. Absolutely cleaned out, upside, downside, all over the place. And they actually did a stop hunt earlier today. So they actually dropped it down first, okay? Wiped everyone out. Then they sent it up. Then they sent it down again. They ripped it up again. And they've just smashed everybody today. So a wild day out there. And I'm looking forward to seeing those. Well, not really looking forward to it, but I'm keen to see the liquidation stats after taking everybody out, up and down in the last couple of hours. What an absolutely wild day we have had out there. But after all of this drama, look at this. Total 3, which is basically the altcoin market. It excludes Bitcoin and ETH. Still good. Bullish retest. All we've had is a small little dip today, holding under this 200-day MA. And, things are going. My crypto genie says the market's down because I shorted the market. Guys, I actually caught the absolute top of that Bitcoin. And I was trying to hold the short open to show you guys as long as I could. Ray was the only one that got to see the drama. But after that pump, I thought I better close that thing. It was an absolute thing of beauty. But as far as total 3 is concerned, this thing is still good. So no panic zones. Okay, we are all okay. 50-day MA is our major support. Weekly break, weekly retest, all is well. Okay, leverage traders, chop, chop, chop. Margin traders, spot traders, relaxing. Bigger picture, let it grind higher, let it do its work, let it do its thing. Okay, this is now getting interesting to me. So if BTC can handle itself now, can start behaving itself, and I'm talking maybe just be a little bit flat here, maybe start grinding higher a little bit slowly, nothing serious, then we could have a situation here where dominance starts rejecting, and these entries that we're going to look at on some of these altcoins could start playing out for you today after that severe sell-off. So you can see this was the big reaction zone that I've highlighted over the last few weeks that we've been waiting for. I'm expecting something to happen in that region. I'm expecting some kind of rejection there. Hopefully that is going to tie in with some of these altcoins bouncing and maybe giving us some kind of relief now in the alts market. So I would say we are pretty close to something happening here on dominance. Let's just pay attention. Where's BTC, right? What are we doing here? Are we Okay, we're grinding higher on BTC, so all is well on that. Now, let's start with ETH. Let's talk ETH. Why did I close ETH? Well, you can see, very simple game. I gave you guys this trend target yesterday on ETH, and that was my rejection zone that I was looking for. So nothing fancy here, nothing too, nothing too smart. All we did was draw a trend line at the top. We identified it was a daily resistance band, pushed into the daily resistance band, TP zone. Why? It's a daily resistance band. TP zone, let it pull back. Now, what do we do with ETH? Well, you can see we can drag our fibs from the high to low to the high, and you can see exactly on the button, we have just retested the 382 fib. So 2,544 is now in play. That's a potential new long position here on ETH. So your support, 2,500, you want to use that as your main level. Then if it does start drifting a little bit lower, 2,455. So 2,455, that is your next major support. But you can see typically, this is why I love these fibs. When we get a big drop in the market, all we need to do, zoom out on a daily, look for the big levels. What does ETH do? Hits the 382. Thank you very much. Goes back up. Okay, very simple game plan that we can do here with these altcoins. So ETH holding well, 2,500. Use that as your support. If you've jumped back in all these candle lows from this current dump that we are in, you can use that as your support markers now. Carrying on. Okay, so we're going to go through tons of these at the moment. Let's talk SOL, and SOL exactly the same. Okay, I've taken a long on SOL on the Bybit competition off that 151, 152 zone. I'm going to show you that position in a second. All I did here, simple 382 pullback, dropped into the 382, dropped into the 200-day MA. That's a reaction zone for me. That is where I look for these type of bounce plays, these type of reaction plays. So I've jumped into a SOL position for the Bybit competition. I'm still holding my much bigger SOL position in the other account that you guys know about. That average entry is 132, so no changes to that. And I'm still expecting higher on SOL at the moment. So no changes on SOL. Let's zoom in and just take a look. And I want to teach you guys something today again. And here it is. Okay, what did we get? We got our little meltdown on SOL on the 1 hour. Look how I marked this guy out. All I did was take my fibs from the lows of that candle to the highs. I looked for my anchored VWAP from the dump on the 10th of October. What did we do? We pushed into that little hot zone there, tied in with confluence of the horizontals, 382 fib, 150. Thank you so much. Bounce on that zone. Okay, and I actually said that today on Twitter. I was talking about that little region there. On SOL, and I highlighted that 150. So that was an important thing. So guys, follow me on Twitter. Okay, I'm dropping all this stuff for you guys at the Lord of Entry. There's the SOL chart. I said, watch 150 bullish support for me on SOL. There it is. Follow me on Twitter. You will get little bits and pieces of that. Naturally, the easiest way to get maximum alpha, including the PopCat chart that I'm about to show you, that we got the absolute bottom on PopCat, was in Sniper Club for the last 2 days, sitting in the Bybit channel in Sniper Club. So hopefully some of you guys got that. And remember, Sniper Club members, you have access to all my charts after the show as well. Ray drops them there for you guys. So lots of reasons to get stuck into that type of thing. So SOL traders, right now, what do we do? Your main support, 150. That's all I'm watching right now. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see if this ticks higher. Maybe this thing comes back, little retest on that zone. But right now for me, for the Bybit competition, I'm playing 150 as my support marker. If we start closing under 150, I'm going to exit that SOL position. I'm going to show you those trades in a second. Then if we start drifting lower, my next reaction zone on SOL for the 1 hour chart for me, 144 is what we're watching. 144, you can see I've got tons of VWAP action just under there. I've got horizontals and I've got a 618. So that's your next bounce play that you are looking at on SOL. Ray, what was that comment from somebody said, Run said what? Run says buy the dip for the 107th time. James. Let's see. How's everyone else? How is everybody doing here? Let me know in the chats how you guys are feeling. Did you guys have as a rough day as me? Let me know. Marky says days like this are better than sex. He obviously loves a red day. And I see Yonid likes cock, loves the cock. That's lovely. I mean, you guys remember my package as well. If you like cock, you're going to like my package. Don't forget, I've got a very small package. I haven't told you guys about this in a few days. I've got the tiniest package in history, and it's also very thin. So it's not, it's not that exciting, is it? But here it is. Here's the ledger that we've got, and Banter has partnered with Ledger. And remember, if you buy the Ledger Flex off the show link in the description of the show, very simple game plan here, you get $50 of BTC loaded on that for you. So there's the Ledger Flex, but you got to use the link in the show description. So if you want a Ledger to store your BTC, get an extra $50 worth of BTC on that Ledger Flex if you guys want a piece of that action. Okay, let's get into a couple of things. Let's talk about this WSOT. Now, this thing was drama. I mean, this was absolute drama, this thing today. And it's quite a thing trading this competition because it's super stressful. You know, you're trying to manage your positions and keep it alive. But look at DJ David. Look at this man. And he is coming first. He's our secret weapon.
Where's his bullhorn? It's a bullhorn.
Of course. DJ David. Hopefully he's here in the chats. Okay, he's our secret weapon in Sniper Club there for us. And he's flying the flag. You can see he's coming first. I'm coming 13th at the moment. And, all is well. After a rough day like that, it's been a hell of a ride. And you can see this is a points-based competition. So it's not actually P&L. So you can see I'm 273% up, but I'm only coming 13th. There's a guy coming 5th. He's, 79% up and things like that. So there is a points weighting in this whole situation. But I'm just going to carry on with my business, and, see if we can start grinding this account slightly higher. Okay, here's the current situation. Now, after I basically got into a fight with Aptos today, I probably hit 3 stops on Aptos trying to dig out an entry. That thing absolutely chopped me up. So I'm going to tell you about this in more detail in a couple of seconds. I want to show you this Popcat. Look at this rate. Absolute bottom of Popcat. 1.28 bang. Ray, I mean, if that doesn't get you out of bed, bro, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Absolute bottom there.
Very impressive, sir. Very impressive.
I'm going to show you guys how I got that. I'm going to give you the chart that has been available in Sniper Club for you guys. So Popcat snagged that bottom there, but a hell of a day, guys. It wasn't an easy day. Okay, we hit a couple of stops here along the way, but we managed to keep the account alive. So there's that sole position that I've grabbed that you can see. I've also grabbed some whiff. It's not a great entry. I started laddering in, so it's not as accurate as Popcat. And you can see I took a stop on whiff there. Look on the right, realized P&L 82. I had to close some of that sole. And then I closed some of that whiff. Then I had a sol short when the market fell over. I've closed that. I'm only in a baby Doge short at the moment. I keep adding. Whenever we get a pump, I just add a little bit. And hopefully, if that is going to fall over, that will protect me a little bit on this WSOT. So that is that at the moment on WSOT. Now, before I show you my 400% trade for you guys, let's talk about... Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't hear you, bro. Repeat yourself there.
Bird in the bush is saying Popcat is volatile. You should be careful.
Yes, it's incredibly volatile. Even if you're trying to catch the bottom, guys, it's an absolute mess. Okay, let's talk about this Popcat chart. And I want to show you guys, Sniper Club members, this was sitting here for you guys for a very long time. I think we had this set up for a couple of days here in Popcat. And I was saying we were waiting. There were a couple of game plans here. One of them was to play the trend break. Alternatively, it was to wait for this dip into 1.28. And it's played out to perfection. What did Popcat give me? They gave me a 618. They gave me an anchored VWAP. They gave me the horizontals. And that was good enough for a reaction for me. Okay, and you can see very simple reaction zone there. And again, remember, these reaction zones don't always say that's the bottom and now it's to the moon. But what they do tell you is that this is where you can make rational decisions if the market is falling over. This is where you can compose yourself. This is where you can start building potential entries in these types of zones. So typical little reaction zone here for me on Popcat. Let's see if this holds. That is now 1.28 is your support. So you can look for a close under 1.2. If you close under 1.27, I would say then you need to bail on Popcat. Okay, so watching this guy very closely now. Look for this double bottom. Look for some kind of action. If we do break the trend, then we can also get some kind of momentum play. Now, remember that comment about how volatile Popcat is. Look at this thing. Absolute rinsage all the way. So remember, if you're not getting perfect entries, you've really got to play super low leverage on these types of things. I'm talking 3x, I'm talking small positions, and I never play big with these meme coins. We can always build later on when we start getting a little bit of momentum. So Popcat, your big support, close under that 1.27. I would say then that is an exit plan for Popcat. Until we lose that, looking to hold this long here on Popcat. Let's see if this thing can push a little bit higher for us. Okay, now, who wants a 400% trade? Anybody? Any takers? Ray, what's our likage like?
I mean, I'd like to trade, but the likage...
Okay, I'll give it to you any day. I'll give it to you any day. As long as you're happy with the likes, you can have this thing every day. I see Mario says my soul is melting. Come on, guys. Time for some action. 400% on 100x leverage. No, it's going to be a 400% trade on a 10x leverage. Okay, that is the game plan here. That is how we're gonna play this thing. Okay, the trade I've got for you is Aptos. Okay, let's talk about Aptos. Now, I've noticed a little bit of commentary moving onto Aptos, a little bit more bullish things floating around at the moment. Guys are moving off from Sui, they're moving off from others, and there's a little bit of talk about Aptos. So Flipside tells us at the end of September, Aptos crossed 2 million active users. Okay, things are happening. It could be bots, who knows? But the point of the matter is there's a little bit of talk going on here for Aptos, and things are definitely starting to brew. And Altcoin Sherpa dropping this Aptos chart earlier today. He says Aptos is a catch up to Sui. Makes sense to him, though they haven't dug too much into the market cap comparisons, but they're sprinkling the seeds at the moment that something could be happening here. And Hess says this was the other day, the total swap volume at Aptos in the previous quarter reached new all-time high of 3.4 billion USD. This represents a 240 increase. Okay, things are going on. 1,500% growth on Aptos. Maybe this thing is going to play catch up. Now, I did talk about this one on my show a couple of days ago. I think it was on Sunday, maybe we spoke about it, maybe Friday, as a potential mover here for us. There's a 40% move in play here on Aptos. It's very interesting to me, but how do we do that? Okay, how do we go about that? So it's quite a tricky one here. The higher your leverage is, okay, the lower your leverage, the lower your margin that you're using. If you've got a spot play and things like that, it's a very simple game plan. You watching 9.3. Okay, that is your main support you want to watch now for any dips, any pullbacks like that. What you can do is you can pull your fibs from some lows to the highs, and you want to bang out where your 382 is. Let's just get that 382 and your 236 fib. You want to just highlight a couple of these fibs in these zones. We're just going to make sure we get the exact time. Okay, there's your 236. So that's your most bullish fib that you got there. Then you can pull a fib from these levels as well. From the lows on the 1st of October, you can see it ties in with that 236. It ties in with that horizontal zone. So 9.3 is going to be your major support. So spot traders, if you're looking for a simple move, what you can do is buy any weakness on Aptos. You're looking for dips into this 9.3 region. You can see what's going on here. We are trying to break some big horizontals here at the moment. I highlighted a rejection zone, so we have rejected on that area once. And what I'd like to see now is some kind of consolidation on Aptos. Now, what does that look like? We're going to dial in for the DGens in a second here, but just mark this one down, okay, spot traders. If you do get a big pullback in the market here, 9.3 is a big zone on Aptos. That is what I'm looking at for a nice, solid, strong bounce if we do get some kind of dip lower. But I'm eyeing out this 40% move. Now, I've been trying to sculpt this thing all day. I've been trying to nail an entry on this Aptos, and it's it's actually literally made me change my undies a couple of times here. And can you blame me? Look at the size of the chop that we've been dealing with here all day long. So what I'm trying to do here is try and snag an entry up into this zone. So if we zoom out, we can see bigger picture. There's about a 40% move coming. What if this thing starts ripping now? And, how do we hold this thing? So what I've been trying to do today is just catch these little dips into these zones. And I've been using Easy Algo and the daily pivot here as a guide. So you can see, I know Ray loves a tight pivot as well, but you can see how tight this daily pivot is, Ray. And when I saw this earlier today, I thought, bro, but we're not getting our move. And we know tight pivots give us very explosive moves, but they're giving us very short explosive moves, and they're just wrecking everybody up and down. So what I can suggest here, I've jumped into another Aptos attempt, and I'm looking for this move higher. So what I can give you from a leverage point of view and a high risk degen play is I can give you some high level support here. Okay, there's your big level. These are your 1 hour dips. Every time we've had a dip into that zone, it gets bought up. Okay, so watching this region very closely now. Any dips into this area at 10 on the button seems to be getting bought up. Okay, so the current strategy can be let this thing bleed out. Anytime you get a dip into 10, you could buy a little bit. You can see they just keep sending it up every single time. So look out there. What I would also suggest, obviously, when you get this type of consolidation in these zones, before they want to send it up, they're going to come do one more flush. Okay, what you can use is the highs of the weekly pivot. That can help you as a potential support target that you can watch and dip it into that weekly pivot. So look out for a stop hunt down to 9.85. Okay, look out for that fake out, then look for that big push higher. So that is going to be my current strategy now on Aptos. I am trying to snag that because I want to get that entry into that potential 40% move. So watching that one very closely. If we lose this trend, Remember the game plan. We've got a rising trend. We've got horizontals. If we start closing under these types of regions, candles start closing under there, then we're looking bearish again. Then we are heading down. Okay, then things get ugly. We jump out. We say, thanks very much. We'll try again later. Okay, sometimes you take your medicine, you take your stop, and you kick on after that. And we shake it off. Remember, the next day is another day. Okay, new attempt coming the next day. So look out for that trend loss. But for me right now, any dips into into 10, any dips into 10, look for that. Watch out for your stop hunt, 9.86. Watch that zone. Bigger picture in mind. You can see what we've got. A 40% move here. If you're trading this on 10x, that's going to be a 400% potential trade for you when it does start playing out. And major support for spot traders, 9.3. Now, if we do get a market meltdown here and this 9.3 comes into play, remember, leverage traders, that is where you get that reaction. Like I showed you on ETH earlier, where you saw that strong bounce, that bounce on SOL, those types of things. That's where you're going to be waiting to snipe your entry. So if the market starts capitulating again, that is what you're watching on Aptos. Okay, very simple game plan there for you guys. And let's see, let me know. And I asked you guys in the chat how you were doing, and I also ran a little poll here. And I just want to see what the sentiment is at the moment with you guys. Oh, where's my poll? Ray, my poll's gone. Oh, no, there it is. Was that the top? Okay, 71%. Nice. Okay, I think macro, Ray, I'm assuming you share the same sentiment as me, but I think macro picture, everything does look okay, bar a couple of rockets and missiles and things like that in the Middle East, but I think we do churn higher. We got elections coming. They're good conditions. Okay, so I think I actually agree. Okay, I agree. That wasn't the top. I think it might have been a short-term little rejection play. Now I've got a sponsor here today, Crossfire. Now, Crossfire is it's basically they're bridging real-world assets and doing all sorts of things. It's a mix between what do we call it, traditional finance and DeFi. Okay, they launched their layer 1 today, and this thing has now gone live. So Crossfire, if you want to find out more about Crossfire, you can follow them on Twitter. It's Crossfire, very simple, at Crossfire Chain. You can follow them on Twitter. You can read what is going on here. And they've got a ton going on, and their mainnet launched today. So I thought, well, the simplest thing here is to take a look at Crossfire and try and figure out where I would buy this. Now, I don't own any Crossfire. Okay, this is a new project to me. And what I want to do is give you a completely impartial view as to where I would buy this thing. Okay, if I was interested in some Crossfire. So what I've done is put the chart together for you guys. This is Crossfire on the 3-day. And you can see the token has been around for a while. And this was launched, 6th of June. Okay, so not that long. This is, it's a 3-day chart that we are looking at the moment. What is interesting to me, there's a couple of things here. Okay, if you like Crossfire, okay, put it that way, and you want to DCA into these types of things, what you can do is you take your lows, you fib from the lows to the highs, and you start plotting levels. Now, isn't it uncanny that this thing has reacted perfectly on a 382, okay, perfectly on the horizontal, okay, and is now reacting. So that is interesting. But when I look at a candle like this, I like to say, let's rather step back, okay? Let's wait for some juicy entries here. You can see there's been lots of pumpage on this thing. Look what happened here on the 9th of May, massive pump on this thing, then a huge sell-off, okay? So now you can see we've had a huge pump. Obviously, the market's been buying this thing into their mainnet launch, okay? We've had a 70% pump. So what I would suggest here, Crossfire, okay, sounds like a good project. Let it settle, let it pull back. Let's look at it in a nice solid zone. So for me, Crossfire, where would I buy this thing? For me, 0.85. Okay, that thing's got to dip down into that 618. I'm looking for some kind of support to play out there at 0.85. Okay, that is for a spot trader investment type play. That is where you're going to look, 0.85. I wouldn't buy it up here, because if it does fall down to the 618, then we are looking at about an 18% dip. Okay, so if you can stomach that and you want a DCA, that's cool. But your main support there is going to be that 618 for me, 0.85. So you can see there is a reaction at the moment, and you can see lots of chop in the chart at the moment. So I think time your entries nicely, wait for the good zones, be patient. You know these things, they always consolidate. And when they run into news, remember Cass was launching. What did it do? It pump. Now everybody's forgotten about it for a while. Now it's pulling back. And now Cass is giving whales nice entries and those types of things. So XFi, take a look. That's the ticker, XFi. And look for some kind of deep pullback there. For me, that's probably your safest zone that you're going to be looking at buying. 0.85 is what you guys can watch. Okay, what was that question? Ray, I missed that comment there. And Kevin says, vaporize the like button. Guys, look, if you're enjoying the content, and you know, we've all had a rough day, okay? hit that like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Okay, I'm here for you guys every day, up, down, whatever. I'm here. And, we crack on. We get through these things together. Okay, let's see. Next banger. Okay, let's talk WIF. And bigger picture here, WIF on the 12-hour, you can see what's happened. We've had our rejection. So that short opportunity that we spoke about the other day, that is now playing out. Okay, and what has happened here with WIF? We've now just hit our 382 fib. So we're banging on the 382, and we've seen this now on a couple of altcoins. So that 382 fib coming into play as a reaction zone. So WIF just dropping into horizontal support and the 382. Where's my next play for WIF? Well, this thing now looks like it might be wanting to trend a little bit lower down. Okay, so my next area on WIF of interest, 2.3. Now, this is on the 12-hour time frame. It doesn't mean in between we don't get bounces and scalps and all those types of things. But if we take a look at this chart and we want to look at some kind of downtrend, for me, 2.3 on the 12-hour looks like this thing can come into play for us. That's the 200-day MA. It's the 618. It's a nice hot zone for me. So 2.3 down to 2.28. Somewhere in that region looks reasonable on the 12-hour for me on WIF. Now, on the smaller time frames, yes. Okay, lots of fun here for the DJs. If you like getting chopped up, slapped around, changing your undies, doing all those types of things, well, here is WIF on the 1 hour. And I was going to say very simple game plan, but I mean, look at this shit. Look what they've done to us today, guys. I mean, this is insane what has been going on. So if you got chopped up, you weren't alone. I had stops on this thing today, but I managed to keep that account afloat. Okay, thankfully. And now things are okay at the moment. So what happened here on WIF? This is WIF on the 1 hour. What we do, very simple. We pull our fibs from the lows. You can see the lows on the 10th of October to the highs, and we start looking for reaction zones. Okay, and what happened earlier today? WIF drifted down, and they actually tapped their 382, the big pool 382. It also tapped the horizontals that were in play from the 14th of October. So strong reaction of that. Okay, I thought I was very smart. Big pump. What did they do? Sent us straight back down. Okay, and they gave us a bounce again on the same zone. So 2.58 now is going to be your main WIF support that you're going to be watching. Now, there could be something brewing here short term. Okay, now you need to watch SOL. You need to watch Bitcoin. You need to watch the market very closely. You can see WIF is now pushing into this blue anchored VWAP. It is trying to reclaim this range over here. This range, you can see we've been in this range from Sunday. Okay, we want to try and get back into that range. If we can get back into that range, then we start grinding a little bit higher on WIF. So you can see it is trying at the moment. And what you can use here is your 1 hour low for that candle. 2.65. You can use that as potential support right now that you can play with. 2.65. And ideally, that was a massive fake out, but you can see we've got a trend in play here as well. So if we start breaking this trend again, then we might get some momentum. Okay, so this could be a two-step process here for you. You could nibble around like I've done here on the 𝗙𝗡𝗡 competition. You can see there's my WIF position. I've been nibbling around there, trying to get this thing going. And what we can do is if it starts breaking that trend, I'm going to start pushing WIF a little bit. Now, I'm not going to sit in all of these positions and try and hold them to Valhalla. I'm going to press one or two and just try and see if I can force it a bit and see if we can get a little bit of momentum. So if we do get now a second trend break on WIF, I'm going to start adding and I'm going to bang my stop under 2.66. Under that region is where I'm going to put my stop. So let's see if we get that trend break. Then we can start pushing again on WIF. So interim support, 2.65, 2.66. Play around with that. If we start dipping again, they're coming to clean out this candle. Okay, typical move. Then you got to sit back and you got to look for this reaction again. But remember, that will be 4 or 5 touches. Okay, 4 or 5 touches, then they could collapse us. Okay, and then they might be sending us to deeper, darker depths. And that is when we zoom out and we say, okay, where can these guys take us? You zoom out, bigger picture, 2.35 down to 2.28. Somewhere in that zone. Remember that, always zoom out. So we can get lost in the smaller time frame, but when the shit's hitting the fan, you want to zoom out. You want to know where the big hitters are. Where are the big zones? Where does the Lord of Entry tell me I'm going to get a reaction? That is where you need to look. Okay, so WIF. Ray, why don't you keep an eye on WIF here? If we start breaking trend, I'm just going to press a little bit and raise my stop. I'll show everybody how I do it. Okay, so Ray's going to watch that there for us. Okay, next one I've got for you guys is Injective. And look, on the daily, Injective is still bearish. Believe it or not, you can see why. We lost that trend. We are now retesting the trend. I just want to flip this over for you guys to show you why this thing is not out of the woods just yet. And if this was a long play and we bought that break, what did we get? A retest. Look at that double top. Okay, now we drifted back down. We're retesting again. Okay, what does that look like to you if you were looking for longs? Okay, that looks like a hot zone, a hot bouncer. Okay, so that's typically now what Injective has done, and it's rejected in that area. So bigger picture Injective, we can see the story. This is a danger zone for us. How do we turn more bullish in the bigger picture on Injective? Very simple. We start reclaiming key levels. Look at these key zones over here. We need to start pushing higher pretty quickly. We want to retest here, find support, then push higher. When we start reclaiming big levels like that, then we can say, okay, we are getting potentially a little bit more bullish. What I would say, watch out for this wick. Look at this horrible wick up here. So if we get some if we get some aggressive pump out of the market, exercise extreme caution up to 25. We know these guys like to fill wicks. We know they like to reject you at these types of zones. So look out for that wick fill. The real test for me, the real potential long for me on Injective will be if we get a massive pump, they reject us on that wick fill, then we're looking for nice juicy entries on those types of zones. And that's going to play out with our horizontals and those things. Now that is Injective on the bigger picture turning bullish. Now on the bigger picture turning bearish, we've still got our hot zone, 18.78. No changes to that. Let's dial in now on Injective and see what has happened. Bang! Look at this, Raymond. Wow. Okay, here we go again. So typical game plan here. And these are difficult to watch, all of them. That is why I always say, pick your favorites, pick your hot zones and things like that. But look at this Injective. Beautiful pump up. What did we do? We took our fibs, low to the high. Very simple game. Where's a hot zone for me? Horizontals. Look at that. Beautiful tie in here on the 382 anchored VWAP. Bang into that zone and a little rocket there off Injective. So nice little hot zone there when the market's falling over. Simple game plan. Bigger time frame fibs. Nice little moving averages, anchored VWAPs, all these types of things. And these guys give you your hot zones that you want to play with. So right now, if you're sitting in Injective, if you caught a move there, your best support is going to be that candle dump, those candle lows. That is the best level that I can give you now on the interim. Now, we need to wait until tomorrow. We need to let the market settle. And then we can start sniffing around once we see a little bit more structure. So let this thing play out a little bit. Then we can see maybe tomorrow on my show, we might be getting some kind of breakout, or alternatively, they're dipping us lower again, something along these lines. So after these mega moves up, mega moves down, we need to just let things consolidate a little bit. If you didn't snipe perfect entries here, now it gets tricky. Okay, we got to let some structure play out. So take a break, have a breath, wait 24 hours. Let's relook tomorrow. Remember, the market goes nowhere. There's always a new opportunity. Sniper Club is full of information for you guys. Daily shows from me. It's always happening. So no reason for FOMO here. Let things play out. So major support on Injective, 20.7, that candle low. That is what you can watch. That's the best I can give you at the moment for you guys. Now, let's look at 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Now, that's a good one for me that I wanted to look at for you guys. And this is a trade I've taken on BitFunded. Okay, an exact same game plan here. What did 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 do? They drifted down into the 618 for us. So if you want to take this trade with me on BitFunded, look, it's getting a bit tight now. Let's just check the size of the risk here. Okay, if you're jumping in here, your risk is 3.6% to the downside. Okay, 3.6% risk to the downside. So it's not ideal. Okay, we've missed the perfect zone, but what I want to explain to you again, what has 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 done? This is 𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the 1 hour. The market is dumping. What do? I zoom out and then I zoom in. Okay, and I say, where can I snipe some entries here on lower time frames? And this just played out beautifully here. We have a 618 in play. Bang. We've got our horizontals. Bang. And a nice little reaction zone with our trend in play as well. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 587 is your main support that you want to use. You can stretch it up to that anchored VWAP there, 598. And this is me sitting in, I've got a bonk order that I've never hit there, as you can see. And this is me in BitFunded now in this tower position. So I've started a position here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of action here. Now, remember, guys, especially for those that might have got smashed today, okay, and you're still learning how to trade, things like that, this might be something for you guys, okay? This is BitFunded. And what you do here is you send $79 or $100 to BitFunded. You can actually send more. You get bigger accounts. They give you a demo account, 5K, 10K. Then you start trading on this thing. You try and make 8% for phase 1 over 5 days. Then you make 5% for phase 2 over 5 days. If you crack that, okay, so it's a 10-day trading plan. Basically, if you crack that, they're going to give you real money to trade with. You keep 80 to 90% of those profits if you are using it. So, you know, if you've been flushed out, maybe you want to practice using BitFunded. And, you know, it actually, to be fair, it's kind of feels like the competition rules when I'm trading on BitFunded, because you really got to stay super disciplined. You can't get loose. Okay, and one of the biggest sins of all of us, myself included, is getting loose when the market is bullish. And these guys ensure that you don't get loose, because they're very tricky with how you manage your loss for the day. Okay, so you got to really manage your position size. You got to manage your stops. You got to do all these things and be very calculated when you go about this stuff. And it keeps you very disciplined. So it might be something worth looking at here. BitFunded, there's a link in the description here for you guys under the show. Everything as usual that I talk about is here under the show for you guys. And you will find it here, including the ledger link, which should appear magically, hopefully, in the... Okay. The ledger link will be appearing during the course of the show or shortly after the show. Okay, very simple for that guy. What is the comment? Why does Uncle Dylan keep his beard perfectly trimmed? Because he knows the importance of cutting losses. Fuck. Guys, I've been rinsed enough, okay, to know the importance of cutting losses. And I must say, competition trading, BitFunded trading, those types of things, they make you very disciplined with how you go about your things. Okay, let's talk about the next situation that I've got for you guys. Let's go with Rune. And this really offended me today. Like, I actually got hurt today with Rune. Okay, Rune was my core position that I was trading for the WSOT, and I had my stop in profit, and the market started falling over dramatically. Okay, look at this, Ray. They've just fucked me so hard, bro. Oh, bro. So Rune was my core position, okay? And, you know, after that first pump today, after we had that big pump today, I just banged my stop there, okay? It was in profit, and I said, it's fine. I'll bang my stop there, all good. And when all the chaos was happening, you know, when the drama happens in the market, when everything starts falling over, and I'm sure you guys can relate to this because it's like this for me. I'm sure it's like this for you. Everything is falling over, okay? All you can do is pick one or two to focus on. When the market's falling over, you can't focus on 10 charts. So I didn't have time to focus on Rune. I thought, let me just quickly look at WIF. Let me quickly look at PopCat. Let me look at SOL and things like that. And then Rune skipped my mind, and obviously it fell over. And, you know, as luck would have it, look where it bounces. Trend 618, VWAP, 200-day MA, rocket, okay? I don't have any Rune left. It's fucked off now. So offensive. Okay. Anyway, so hopefully you guys know that I feel your pain. I mean, this was absolutely disgusting. I mean, this is the actual cycle. Wow, I'm feeling so rich. Wow, I'm feeling so poor. Oh, it's left without me. I've got no money left. Fuck. I mean, that's exactly what happened today on some of these setups. So if you are interested in Rune, I'm not in it now. Okay, so I need to wait for a new entry, and we're going to have to look. But if you are interested in Rune, 5.1, that's the safest I can give you. Okay, that is your safest support zone that I can give you, 5.1. Okay, for me, you can see I'm in enough positions here. I'm going to let this stuff play out. Okay, today was hectic. We're going to let it play out. If you're in a couple of positions, that's cool. You don't have to add any more. If you're looking for something here on Rune, 5.1, use that. That's probably your most reasonable, safest play, because that would make the assumption that we kind of hold this level, okay? But there is a chance they come back and wipe out this wick. As you guys know, whenever we get a dip in the market, eventually they come back and they start wiping out these wicks. So that is still on the table. So I suspect, you know, Rune traders, I think we might get an entry at 4.9 again. Okay, it might arrive again for us, so let's not write that off. But 4.9, big hot zone now for Rune that we're going to be watching. And if we do get some structure over the next 24 hours or whatever, we'll find these trades again. Okay, we'll find some breakouts. We'll do what we need to do on Rune when the time is right. Mr. Z says, any link for BitFunded? Let's just make sure it's in the chats here for you guys. Oh, gosh. Okay, let me just let me get this going quickly. Give me 1 sec here. Okay, let me just, let me get it. Be patient. It's coming. Okay, we're getting it put in. We're getting it put in. Okay, there we go. It should magically appear now in the show in the next couple of minutes. So if it's not there, just remember, guys, check in after the show, and it should be there for you guys. Okay, so Injective, strong bounce there for us. Let's talk Brett. This is another one for you guys. And look, let's just go into the bigger picture here. Remember, the bigger picture on Brett, the plan is still the same. Okay, we're looking for that 24% move, and we're looking for that pump up to the 0.14. How do we get there? Well, the strategy was very simple for Brett. We wanted to get that pullback onto that 382. Now, we haven't quite hit the 382, but we did get very close to that type of area. So this could still be on now for Brett for this bigger pump. But I would still say bigger picture, 0.102. We need to watch that one super closely here. 0.102, that is the big one. And potential move now from where we are on Brett, 38%, okay, or a little bit less. Okay, so call it 34% is what we're looking at on Brett to the upside. Now, dial in. Okay, how do we do this safely? How do we manage ourselves here? Now, this is where it gets interesting for Brett. Okay, you can see our 102. That big 382 that I've just shown you is sitting over here. Now, here's the catch. Okay, this is actually lost trend. So we need to make sure this thing is going to consolidate here and then start pushing higher if we're going to confirm that bigger picture move that we are looking for. Because on the short term, we might have a situation here now that we've lost trend where it rejects and they start sending us a little bit lower. So what I would suggest here, 102, that is your key support that you're going to watch. If you zoom out on the 12 hour and you take a look here again, 102 is what you need to be watching. That is your major support. So that's major fib support there. That is where we're looking for a bounce. Shorter time frame, you can see might be short-term bullish, bearish here, but 102 ties in very nicely. Horizontals, 382 fib pool as well. We've got a VWAP there floating around in that zone. So you could use that as your base support. But remember, we might have a situation now because we've lost this very steep trend that we do get some kind of rejection here on Brett. So I would say just be careful in this type of area. Let's see how this plays out in the next couple of hours. You know, let's see if we get a little push higher, then we get some kind of structure, then we can start looking for some kind of breakout, or alternatively, they come send it back down into that zone. So Brett traders, if you are jumping in here now, this is your risk. Okay, that's what I just want to warn you guys about. Your risk on Brett now is about 4.6%. It's not great. Okay, it's really not a good risk reward here. So I would say exercise extreme caution.
Check your whiff.
Say that again.
Check your whiff trade.
Banging. Okay, let's add a little bit to whiff here. Okay, so we've got a little breakout. Let's see what my average entry is. 2.62. Okay, so we're starting to break that trend. You can see there's my average entry here. I'm going to add a little bit onto whiff here. I don't want to bring my average entry up too high. We're just going to add a little bit there. Okay, so we added 1,000. Okay, we can add, and then we're going to just raise our stops. Okay, we've had a nice move. I'm just bringing my stop up a little bit here. I just want to de-risk a bit. Okay, so let's see if that plays out now. So we've added a little bit of juice there to whiff. If that gets a little bit more momentum, it should kick on. I've now raised my stop, so I've decreased my risk on my stop as well. And if this dips lower, I stand to lose less. Okay, if it starts dipping low, how's that, Ray? As I increased it, bro. Send it to 0. He's longing it. Send it down. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. Now you can see I've de-risked quite a bit there on my stop loss. I've just raised that a little bit. So we'll keep watching this guy. And let's see, Aptos. Yeah, Aptos is doing its thing. Popcat's doing its thing still. Sol grinding at the moment. Okay, we'll see how that is going to play out. Okay, so Brett traders, just want to point out there's risk here. 4.6% for you. Your best support, 102. That ties beautifully into this bigger time frame support. Then if we do have a further meltdown tonight, let's say today Asia comes and they sell us as well, 0.092 is what you're going to be watching. And you can then equate that to this chart over here. Look at that, 618. Look at this absolute banger on Brett. Okay, so all is not lost. If it loses that zone, you sit back, you wait, you do nothing, and you wait for that reaction, 0.092. That's where you get your next mega rip out of Brett, I would suspect. Okay, so very simple game plan here. Let the market settle just a little bit more, and then we should be okay. Okay, so Tower is done, and then I've got GRT for you guys, just a bigger picture play as well, and I mean another mega recovery. And Kimmy says, Coty slapped me silly. Guys, Rune slapped me silly. Apto slapped me silly. What is that other shitcoin? Whiff even slapped me silly today. No, it was messy. It was absolutely messy. It's not for gentlemen, that behavior that they gave us today. It was absolutely disgusting. Okay, so GRT now pushing into our rejection area. So I just wanted to point this one out to you guys. It is a topical token, but you can see we are rejecting at a typical rejection area. We got our horizontals. We've also got our 618. So this is telling us, look, danger zone here on GRT. Now, your best way to play this is naturally now to look for type of breakouts, because if we look at this current chart on GRT, what are the options? Option 1 is a push to that trend before they reject. Option 2 is actually this move back into the trend low. So GRT kind of in no man's land at the moment. So upside, your 18 is a problem. When you start reclaiming 18, then I would say it opens up 20. It will open up the top of that channel that we're looking at there. So that could be interesting. But what I would suggest here, you're looking at shorter time frames. You want to just look for that structure, and then you want to look for that pump. Now, I've given you guys quite a few examples of how I do that. So GRT traders, all you want to do, go into the 15 minutes, go into the 1 hour, build your shorter time frame around your bigger time frame, understand where you are in the bigger context, understand what resistance zones you are fighting. If they are massive resistance zones, obviously it comes with more risk. If they are less strong resistance zone, it comes with slightly less risk if you're trying to play those breakouts into those zones. Ray, have I missed anything? Well, I see Ray's gone. Ray's left us. Oh no, there he is. Come on, bro. Have I missed anything? So what are we doing here? Bitcoin trade. Bitcoin's okay. Let's see where we are. Guys, let's do one more update on BTC for you. I just want to make sure you guys have got something here. Okay, so yeah, BTC, let's just look at this 4 hour quickly. Okay, so grinding up again. Okay, so just watch out. Look out for this wick. Let's see how they treat it when they do push us higher. They might want to just come clean out this wick again. Okay, could be some more short action later, some more fun and games for you guys. So just be a little bit careful today. Okay, a little bit messy out there. Remember, all these charts go into Sniper Club directly after the show. And please, everyone that wanted tokens today that you are dropping in the live chat, it's much easier for me if you just drop it in the comment after the show. Then Ray compiles them, sends them to me, and I make sure I incorporate 1 or 2 in the show every day for you guys. So please do that for me after the show. Just drop in the comments what you want, and I want to cater for you guys. Then naturally, obviously, Sniper Club guys, you know what you get from me by now. And if you're new to Sniper Club, well, sorry?
Check the poll. Check the poll. The poll.
Jeez, Ray, we got to fix your mic, bro. This mic's a disaster, bro. Okay, let's check our poll here. The poll, 69%. 69% say up we go. What do you make of that? What do you make of that, sir, on this family show?
Might have to do the opposite.
Ray wants to short it. Ray wants to short it. Okay, Ray thinks everyone's too bullish. Ray thinks we go back down. Okay, there's your final comments from Ray. Sentiments maybe too high. We obviously like a balanced view, but I think macro, I think we go up. Okay, maybe short time, maybe a little bit more chop for us. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Good rough day, really rough day. You're going to be fine. Okay, we deal with this again tomorrow. I'm back. See you guys later.
Can you believe they actually got a trade in profit?
I thought you got liquidated. Right?
Yesterday.